The topic is service on the internet. And of course, we're talking to Mr. Nathaniel Perry and Mr. Gerald Jackson. And of course, gentlemen, before we had our first commercial break, we were talking about aspects of the internet. And I think one of the things that we've identified in terms of the usefulness of the internet is the ability to be useful only if people know where you are. And I think you've already mentioned the fact of what we call a search engine. Let's talk about that for a while to give our audience, and especially those who might have a computer but might not be computer literate at this point. What should they do and that kind of information?
Okay. Well, a search engine is something that it's also located on an address. You have different search engines, especially within the Netscape program. All you have to do is click on a button that says search for, and it'll drop down some search engines, and all you have to do is type in a certain name or a certain a subject that you want to talk about, and it'll bring up all the articles that are listed about that particular subject that you typed in. And then you're able to go down through those articles and look at the subject matter on it and decide whether or not that's the one that you want to go to. And once you find out one of the pages or articles that you want to look at, you click on it and there's all the information for you. The information doesn't have to be something that's local. It could be something that's come from Italy or Germany. It's worldwide information. So whatever you typed in, that information is available to you.
And so there's no limit in terms of the kind of information. This whole thing is information driven. Is that what we're saying, Mr. Jackson? That it's information driven, and that whatever you click in and you have the appropriate engines and the appropriate information, that you can really pull that information up. So that seems to me to be a tremendous boon. Now, Mr. Jackson, you are the president of Universal Solutions Provider, which I understand is a service organization, a service mechanism. Now, what does that mean?
Well, what we practically do, we give out, we are ISP. We do ISP in terms of the internet service provider. We give people internet access. We do, well, we build computers, do networking. We just have a broad range of services that we offer people to help them get to the internet. Once they get to the internet, we give them service to go through us. Okay,
and so what you're saying is that I might have everything that I need in terms of my computer, my information, and et cetera, but I'm still not on the internet. And the only way that I can get on the internet is to come to a person who does what the two of you do, and that is to provide a service.
That is correct.
And when you say service, I give you my information.
That's correct.
And I say, you've got a lot of other clients, and put you under my client, and you are my what? Server. And you present me to the world. And the only way I can get to the world is through you as a server. Is that what we're saying?
That is correct. You have three types, different service. You have an ISP, which is the internet service provider. As I mentioned before, they give you total access to the internet.
Now, when you say total access, what are you saying?
They are particularly, they don't log any information. They don't have time to do it. They give you total access. You have two other service providers, which are content service providers, and then you have another one that are online service providers. Online service providers and content service providers like AOL, MSN, those particular service providers, they have their own software. They build their own software, and you get access through their software, which you do not get total control. They can stop you from doing anything and everything, to where ISPs cannot do that.
So they can almost they can literally pull the plug on you. Those are two of the latter kinds, but that first kind, they simply open the door and say, go out there and you do what, and have fun. And now, and your the companies that the two of you operate out of those three categories, Mr. Perry, where do you fall into that category?
I fall into the category where I would actually get the information from a customer, and they'd say, okay, I'd like a picture of my logo on here. I'd like these words typed in. I take those words and that logo and I put it in the HTML format, and then I would give it to a company that has a server such as GJackson.
And so, so in a real sense, you start by what we might call designing the web page or the information that will eventually be seen on the computer.
Right.
which is to say that a person who has a desire to get his or her company onto the internet, but might not know how to do that, they simply might come to you and say, I would like to get on the internet, and bring you the information that they have that they'd like to display on the internet and leave, and and you would design the page, turn to Mr. Jackson and say, put this on
for this company.
And so the two of you, in a real sense, can work together in terms of what you do. That's very good. And now, how many people do you find that that are actively looking for this kind of service?
Well, it's still relatively new. It's something that you have to put out and let people know that it's there available for you and what it can do for you. There are a lot of TV commercials that are out there saying this person sold this many TVs over the internet, or this person sold this many sunglasses over the internet. And those are the things that it can do for you. It just has to be put out that it's known. We also do that when we're out trying to gain customers. We have to let them know, look, this can do wonders for you. It can be a powerful tool for you to actually boost your business, because people are now starting to get on the internet and searching for information, and they're searching for equipment that they need and things that they need, and they're finding it easier to find it at home. They don't have to go out into the wild world that's out there. If they can do it all at home, they'd love to do it.
Now, Mr. Jackson, in terms of providing service on the internet, is that a very, very expensive proposition from your perspective?
Yes, it is. The type of equipment that we use is very expensive. It's not something someone off the street should just come in and do. It takes a lot of training, a lot of money to do it.
And so it's very, very expensive to operate a service organization, and what you need in order to do that is to have more and more customers. That sort of boosts what you're doing. Now, Mr. Perry, in terms of providing the customers for that through the design of web pages, is it very expensive over the last 40-odd seconds that we have here? Is it very expensive to design a web page, and if possible, could you give us some kind of price that it might cost?
Well, it all depends on how much information that you want to put out. It's not very hard to do. It's just understanding what the coding is. Finding out a picture. Maybe one person only wants one page. There may be 4 or 5 different pages. There may be some Java scripting involved, some CGI scripting, and those things are a little bit more complicated than just basic web page design.
Very good. And of course, we're coming up to our second commercial break, and after which we'll come back and we'll talk about some other aspects. And we'll be back with you following this short commercial break. Very good.